I hope you are ready for some action, because today is the start of a brand new tutorial series. As usual, I will spread this on several videos. We'll tackle first the character animation using the agent system, then move on to the next steps. Before starting, let me just precise that I found the character and its motion capture clips on mocaponline.com. No product placement here, I'm just letting you know in case you'd like to use the same files I used for the tutorial. Basically, I bought the Ninja Starter Pack, which was like the cheapest one, so I figured that would be enough for the demonstration. I created a library of animation, so it's basically some agent node, and I'm importing the mocap on those guys. So, okay, we got this, we got some, I'm not sure we'll use everything, just to give some rough ideas. So we got a kick, maybe it would be cool to have a kick at some point. And got the jump, we got the guy running. And okay, we got a climbing stuff. So the idea will be to blend this running cycle with this jump and then jumping down from a box, let's say. So we'll first use the T-pose, mostly to initialize the position of the cape, or if you have any other clothes. So to import any mocap stuff, you can use an agent, set the input to FBX or file if it's in any other format, and you would load it. And that's it. So I'm just loading the T-pose, and from here we're gonna load different animation on this character. To do so, we'll use an agent clip. Actually, on the initial pose, I'm gonna rename this clip T-pose. And basically from here we can import a lot more clip animation. So I'm gonna go in my library and let's say I'm gonna copy this path and just paste it as an FBX, like so. So nothing seems to happen, but it's actually part of the agent option now. So we're gonna call it stand. And if you wanna visualize the clip, well, by default there's nothing going on, you should probably use an agent clip properties. All right, so in here I'm gonna create one clip. So basically this node allows us to tweak the animation properties like the speed, define a loop, this kind of thing. So you would be able to speed up the mocap or slow it down, but you would see it only if we simulate the crowd animation. Okay, so we're gonna use an agent clip transition graph to compute the transition between the clips. So we're gonna connect this like so. And how it works, we need to create some extra transitions and define what clips to blend. So we have this clip A and clip B. We should use clip A, the T-pose, and let's say stand for the clip B. So you would be able to sync which frame of those clips to blend together. So I'm gonna reduce the transition region to 5, and we're gonna drop a test sim crowd transition. So we are actually using a crowd system to blend or mocap stuff. It's kind of a hack that I like to use. So in here we need to plug the properties, and okay, let's see. So the initial pose would be T-pose, and the clip one would be stand. So we want to trigger this animation at some point. So the model is turning orange. It means something going on. The animation is pending. So we're going to reduce the blend frame actually. And I'm going to trigger this animation at frame 2. And here we go. Actually, I want this to be a bit slower, so let's say 20 frames. And we got a proper transition between the T-pose and the standing pose. Awesome. So we're gonna do a lot more. Now we're gonna use this running clip. All right. So let's copy this path again, and back in the agent clip, we're gonna create an additional clip that we'll call run. So FBX, let's pass the path. And then again, we're gonna go inside this agent clip transition and add another transition. So we wanna blend the stand and the run. Okay, gonna reduce transition region to something like 5. And we'll go back into the test sim. And if you haven't understand yet, this node is in charge to trigger the next animation. So the transition is just establishing how many frames, what frames to sync, but this node is in charge of triggering the next animation. And there is this color code that basically corresponds to what's the state of the animation. In guides, we see that orange corresponds to pending transition, red to the initial stage, green is after transition. So I'm gonna reduce the trigger frame to 20. And one thing is that the running is not happening before, okay, 85. And the reason is it's simply waiting that the standing clip is finishing before triggering the run. So one way to fix that would be to go in the agent clip properties, and we'll enable the loop range and probably decrease that. Also, we could check blend while looping, and I think that should be fine. But well, in that case, pretty sure that should work. And here we go. Like around 50, it's triggering the transition. So that's great. So that's kind of a weird transition. Actually, I would need another mocap clip where we would feel some momentum where the guy is getting ready to run, but well, I don't have that. So I'll probably play with the camera to kind of hide this transition anyway. So one thing we're gonna need now is to set the next pose. And I'm basically freezing this last frame. And I'm gonna import, let's see, okay, no, not this one, this one. So we got this running clip at the beginning, and I wanna blend it with what we have. So we're gonna need to do some transformation. So I'm gonna need to import this FBX. So it should appear, it's hiding, okay. So the scale by default is too big. I'm gonna call that climb and reduce the uniform scale to 0.01. Okay, so now it's matching with our agent. And we're gonna basically try to match the pose at the first frame. So let's head to the first frame and match the position of the feet. Okay, so I'm mostly looking at the feet because we don't want them to slide. Okay, so something like that, and we'll basically from there call this FBX from Houdini. So we're gonna create a new clip. We'll call that climb, and we're gonna leave it to character rig this time and just select the climb setup. Okay, so from there, let's add some clip properties just in case. So that would be climb. And let's preview it actually. So yeah, the transformation worked, and we're gonna be able to transition from the run to this climb clip. So let's head back to the clip transition, create an extra transition, and clip A is gonna be the run, and clip B is gonna be the climb. So it's gonna be a bit more tricky. Let's show the guy geometry. We're gonna need to set the sync frame at the latest frame of this clip. So that would be, in my case, 18. So we want to blend those two poses. And to do so, we're gonna need to set the transition region at 18 here. And yeah, I think that should work. Let's see. Let's set that to climb and trigger that. It was at 68. All right. Okay, so it's kind of working, but there is like a little glitch just during the transition, I think. Yeah, it's basically, yeah, it's like going backwards. I think it's one of the clips is either starting too early or one too late. So we're gonna try to fix that. Can't leave that like this. So in agent properties, let's go to this run stuff, and okay, I think we should set the loop range to like 1 to 19 and enable looping, maybe 21. Okay, let's try it. Okay, I made it worst. So I guess it was the other way around. Maybe 20. Okay, I think that's much better. All right. Yeah, it's looking sweet, I think. Poof. Poof. Actually, we could almost increase the blend frame to 4. Yeah, it kind of helps with the head, but well, it's not perfect, but I think we'll do the trick. Okay, let's move on. We're gonna match this pose, and from there we want it to jump out of this box. So let's go back to this retime. It's gonna be at 140, and we wanna use this as reference to match this clip. So okay, we're gonna match this clip. So let's copy the path, and I'm gonna import it as FBX. Okay, I'm gonna set that to 0.01 again, and that's gonna be the jump. Okay, that scene's getting cluttered. I'm gonna disable some stuff. And let's match the feet. Also, well, it's floating in the air, so let's add an obstacle like a box, and we'll position it. Where is it? Okay. So I'm gonna leave it above the ground, so I'll pass that as relative reference divided by 2. And here we go. So something like that, maybe. Okay. All right, we can import this into our clips. So let's add one more to collection. It's gonna be jump. So as usual, we need to set the clip properties. Let's add this guy, jump. And well, it seems to work fine. And the transition, let's add some more. So clip A was climb, jump. Yeah, climb. And clip B is jump. Okay, so we need to initialize that. So that would be the frame to blend. Something like around here. So it's gonna be 60 to, say, 64 with 3 frames for the blending. And let's trigger the animation of this jump at 123. Let's hit play. And yeah, that works. That's a one shot. Let's double check that everything's fine. Got this transition. And okay, got the superhero pose. And okay, cool. So from there, what could we do? We could add a kick just after that. So I think we're gonna use that file. Poof. Yeah, that could be a fun one. All right, let's use that. I'm just gonna copy this path and import it as usual. So I'm sure there might be some more convenient way to do this. It's my workflow, but I'm like, I suck pretty bad at animation, so I'm sure there would be some smarter way to do that. Okay, that would be the frame to match. So let's say 199. And let's match that here. Yeah, I just want an animation that works without spending too much time. So I mean, for me, that's all right. Okay. So we'll bring that into a collection again. So that would be kick. And let's grab this kick. And poof, poof, poof. Agent clip properties. Let's try to add that stuff. And yep, let's preview. So I think I'm gonna limit the loop range so that it's not repeating itself. And disable enable looping. Okay, so I think that should be fine. From there, let's set up the transition. So we're gonna transition between, it was jump and kick. So let's see. We need to sync the frame. Okay, this pose sounds all right. So let's set that to 70, 74. And yeah, from here, let's trigger the animation at the frame. So it was kick. So trigger that at 160. Finger crossed, it should work. Oh yeah. So that's great. Now the animation ends with this frame that's like frozen, and I want something pretty subtle like this idle fight where we should feel the character breathing. So I'm gonna import it real quick and do the same thing that we've been doing for the past 15 minutes. Okay, I think that should be good. And let's add that to our clips. Poof, one more clip. Gonna call that idle, and let's import idle fight. And okay, let's set up the transition. So Let's create that. So that's gonna transition between kick and idle. So I want to match this frame of the kick. And as usual, let's add a clip sequence so we can trigger this animation maybe around 230. And that's good. So we got just a subtle movement at the end where that could give us a bit of rest just for like cutting the video. Awesome. So that's pretty much it for the animation of this character, really. So we're gonna clean a bit. I'm just gonna export the final animation into a cache, and we're gonna call that anim A. So it will be in the subfolder, and let's call that anim. All right. So we just need to also clean maybe some attributes. We don't want to keep a bunch of useless stuff. I just want to keep UV. So it will delete everything, including the color. It will just keep the UVs. We probably need to unpack this geometry since the agent is a back geometry. Now we got some proper points and stuff going. It actually came with texture when I bought this model. So let's use it. A little trick I like to use to visualize my texture, well, is to use visualize V, but instead of visualizing a grid, I'm visualizing my texture. And let's save to disk. All right, so we can load from disk, and from there our geometry is cache, and we are ready to start doing some simulation for the cloth. So that's what we get with the texture and stuff. Looks much better. So just to prepare the next steps, I'm dropping a null that I'm gonna call output agent, and we're gonna clean that. So this would be the collider, and let's do a network box in here. We'll call that mocap library, and that would be our geometries. That's pretty much it for today. Thank you for watching. I hope this was useful, and I will see you in 2 weeks for the next step about the cape modeling and its simulation. My official patrons will get an early access to this tutorial very soon, so consider checking out my page if you are interested. I'm taking this opportunity to thank all my patrons, and a special shout out to new members Tristan Fields, Morgan McDermott, GT, Cedric Profile. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button if you don't want to miss the next video, and I will see you guys next time.